All right, guys, good afternoon. I hope you guys had a good lunch. We are going to be working on science now. So last week we worked on topic 4, unit 4 of social studies. We're now going to be moving to science. Tomorrow, we're not going to do our regular science lesson. We're going to do our mad science lesson tomorrow, and that will be at 12:30. And then remember, you guys are going to go to this Zoom link, and tomorrow I'll give you guys that link in Google Classroom as well. Right now, we're going to be working on science. We're working on a totally new unit. It's called Living Things and Habitats. We're working on Module 1, Plants and Landscapes. So you guys should actually have this book. Let me see if I can find it. Here it is. So I think it's this one. Nope, that's unit 2. This one. You guys should have this book. It has like a picture of a starfish and it says Inspire Science. You guys should have this book. If you don't have this book, you're gonna have to look for it, because I know at the beginning of the year we asked you guys to all pick up your books. So look for the starfish book.
It's the living things and habitat, right?
Perfect.
One, right?
Yes. Now, if you don't have that book, you guys can get a separate sheet of paper and work on it on a separate sheet of paper.
I have it.
Perfect. I love that you have it. Now, if you guys ever work on it online, like where you take your assessments, it's always going to give you your old elementary school. You need to make sure you click on OISP. OISP stands for Online Independent Study Program. That's the program you guys are in. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this little arrow. I'm going to go to Module Plants and Landscapes, Living Things and Habitats, and I'm going to click on Lesson 1. What plants need? All right, and then I'm going to tell you guys what pages we need to be on. All right, let's encounter the phenomenon first. And then I'll tell you the page. What plants need? How do these plants get what they need? Check out growing sunflowers to see the phenomenon in action. So let's watch this quick little video. Wow, look at how beautiful that sky looks. Ooh, look at the sunflower. It's following the sunlight. Wow, that is really cool. That's a real sunflower field. Wow, look at how beautiful that sky looks. Let's watch it again. It looks like all the sunflowers are sleeping and then they wake up with the sun. They face the sun. They're all moving with the sun. Then it's nightfall again and it's like they go to sleep again. How cool is that? All right, so this was the book you guys need. It's grade 2, unit 4, student edition. It says Living Things and Habitats. Here we have a starfish, and in the bottom, it looks like this is like a beaver. All right, let's go ahead and we're going to skip these pages. We're not going to do our inquiry. Actually, we could watch the video. So let's go ahead and watch this video. We're not going to do the lesson. We're just going to watch. We're not going to do the activity. We're just going to watch the video for it. So let's go ahead and go to the Explorer. So we're just going to watch it. It's okay if you don't have it. If you don't have it, I'll show you how to access it online. But for now, you can just watch my video. Just gonna watch this video. Oh no. Why is the audio not working? Okay, I'll read it. In this lesson, we are going to learn about if plants need water and sunlight to grow. Let's look back at the video we saw earlier in the lesson. Why do you think the sunflowers move the way they do? In this activity, you'll be studying what amount of sunlight is best for a plant. These are the materials you'll need. To investigate plants in sunlight, you'll use the following materials: gloves, 3 plants, tape, marker, cup of water, and colored pencils. We're not going to be doing this. To complete this activity, you'll place 3 plants of the same kind in a full sun location, a partly shady location, and a full shade location. Make a prediction. Before you begin, make a prediction. How will a plant grow in full sun, shade, and full shade? And then we're not gonna, so let's just talk about it. What do you guys think will happen? So let me,
Miss Pop,
what do you guys think will happen to the one that's in full sun?
It'll grow to be pretty.
Okay, so I hear that in the full sun location, it'll grow to be pretty. What about in the partly shady location?
It's still gonna grow big, but not as much as the full sun one.
Okay, so you guys think it'll grow not as big as the one in full sun. And what do you guys think about the one in the shady location?
It will not grow.
Okay, awesome. All right, let's see what your predictions will get us.
Miss Park,
Yes.
what time do we get off of school?
So your school day ends at 2:30. But there is going to be work you need to work on independently. Okay, so basically what they're doing here is they're labeling each of their pots so that they know which one gets like all the sun. They'll know which one gets half the sun, and they'll know which one gets no all shade. So that's what they're doing. Okay, now put on a pair of gloves to continue with your activity. Now place each of your plants in a suitable location. So this one is the full sun. It's going to get all the sunlight. This one is going in the half sun, half shade. And then make sure they all get the same amount of water every day. They should be getting the same amount of water every day. And then you have to, and then this person, what they did was they did this for us. They watered it every day, and then they watched it for a whole month. So they watched it for an entire month. So then you're going to observe your plants and record your data. Select the full sun row. Okay, look at the plant you placed in full sun. So what do you guys notice about this plant? Can anybody unmute and tell me, what do you guys notice about the plant, about the tomato plant that got full sun? They got really big, huh? But what else do you notice? What do you notice down here and here?
Root.
It's like, it's kind of dead. Like, have you guys ever like been in the sun for too long and got a sunburn?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it looks like this plant kind of got it like a sunburn. It looks like it kind of dried up in certain places because it was getting too much sun. And then what it's saying is to use a color pencil to draw a picture of the leaves. And then now let's look at the next one. Now we're going to check out the plant that got some shade. Ooh, does this look different than the plant you placed in full sun? Yeah, it's not as,
It's not that dead as the other one.
Yeah, I mean, there's a little bit of brown here, but not as much as the other one. It doesn't look as tall, but it still looks pretty tall and healthy. Okay, now we're gonna look at the one with the full shade. Does this plant look different than the other plants? What do you guys think? There's a little bit of dead, but actually this one looks pretty good too. Doesn't this one looks actually pretty tall. Wow. So they all three of them grew pretty well. The first one, the one that got full sun, that one kind of looked like the most dead. I think it was getting way too much sunlight. So even though it's in the shade, why do you think, because you know, people always say, oh, you have to have sunlight to grow a plant. Why do you guys think that even though it's in shade, it's still growing? Is it still getting sunlight even though it's in the shade?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. Oh, now look at that. Oh, look. Now we see, oh, wow. I thought it was taller, but look, this is the one that was in the full sun. Actually, let's see what it says. Okay, here it is. As you look at the side-by-side photo of all three plants, so this is, take some time to analyze your data and communicate your findings. Okay, so let's see. This one is the full sun. This is the full shade, and this is the some shade. So now we can measure them. So look at the full sun one. Do you see how it's all dead down here? The full shade has a little bit of dead, and the some shade has a little bit too. But let's see how tall they are. So that was the full sun, full shade, and this was half partial, part shade, part sun. Which one is the tallest?
The full shade.
The full shade. And look at how healthy it looks. These other ones are kind of small and green, but look at how healthy these green leaves are. So why do you guys think the full shade, you guys thought that the full shade would be a lot less. How come you guys think the full shade was actually the strongest and the healthiest?
Because it got too much sun and too much shade. It didn't get too much sun.
Yeah, look at that. Wow, it didn't get too much sun. It got, but even though you're in the shade, you can still feel a little bit of the sunlight. Shh. I wish we could read what it was saying. At these temperatures, the plant in the full sun lost water more quickly than the other two plants. It was hot. It was also hot enough that the leaves of the plant in the full sun were burned by the sun. This is like what happens to us when we go outside on a sunny day without having sunblock on. I talked about that. All right, guys. I know that video was kind of quiet, so let's keep going. Now what we're going to do is we're actually going to be doing some writing. So here, you guys are actually going to be on page 12. We're going to be on page 12 and 13. We're going to be on page 12 and 13. So I'm going to write that here since I didn't write it earlier. So we're on page 12 and 13. We're going to be doing the explain. So this is what page you guys should be on. Okay. Look for these words as you read. We've got leaf, mineral, nutrient, root, and stem. Plants. How do plants in dark places get what they need? Plants have parts that help them survive in the environments. Roots are parts that keep plants in the ground. They take in water from the soil. Roots also take in minerals and nutrients. Minerals and nutrients help to keep living things healthy. Now go online and explore how plants grow in different amounts of sunlight in the simulation Sunlight, Water, and Plant Growth. So let's go ahead and do that simulation now.
This is so boring.
Here we go, okay? Now, let's go ahead and look at the simulation. You guys can actually do this simulation as well. I'll put it in the chat. So I just put the simulation in the chat for you guys. Welcome to the growing plant. You're here to learn about how the environment affects what a plant looks like and what it needs to grow. You will grow a plant for 30 days and discover how light and water affects its growth. Press the next button to start your first experiment. Before you start, set where the sun is coming from once with the sun slider, then change the amount of shade with the tree slider and change the amount of water with the rain slider. Click the play button to start growing. Try varying the shade and water during the experiment. So let's go ahead. Ready? So what I'm going to do is let's see where the sun is going to shine from. Let's shine it directly ahead. Okay. And then let's put no trees and let's do little water. Then I'm going to press play. Okay. So it's growing. So that's day 6. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to press play. Now that's day 12. Uh-oh, what's happening, guys? What's happening on day 18? Oh no, what's happening?
It's dying.
Oh no, the plant died. What do you think happened? Did it have enough water? Did it have enough sunlight? Try again, click the reset button. So let's click the reset button. Okay, now what do you guys think I did wrong? What do you guys think I should add more of?
Water.
Okay, so I'm gonna give it a lot of water this time. Let's try that. Okay, I'm giving it a lot of water this time. Okay, so it's growing again. Okay, it's growing. Uh-oh. Oh no, what's going on, guys? I gave it a lot of water this time and it's still dying.
Water.
Oh no, the plant died. What do I need? What should I do this time?
Not a lot of water.
Okay, maybe not as much water. And then let's put a lot of trees this time.
Trees. Lovely trees.
Okay, so my plant looks pretty good.
Trees.
Okay, it still looks okay. Oh no, it's dying again. Why does it keep dying? Okay, maybe let's think about the investigation we did. Remember when we had the sunlight? Maybe we shouldn't have the sun all the way on the plant. Maybe we should have it to the side. And then maybe like a little bit of trees and maybe a little bit of water. Let's see if we can make it stay alive now.
My plant's not dying yet.
Nice. Okay, let's see. Day 12. Oh no, my plant's kind of dying. Oh no, the plant died. How am I going to keep my plant alive, guys?
Miss Hark, I know
Put
how
a
to help
little
you.
bit of sun.
Mine's alive now, and it passed 30. I passed 30 days to my plant right now.
Nice. Okay, I think it has enough water, so.
It's growing bigger.
Oh no, okay,
Maybe
that's,
A little bit of sun.
I need to add more water. Maybe add a little bit of sunlight. Oh no, I just keep killing my plant, guys.
My plant lived for 30 days.
You had to put a little bit of sun.
Me too.
All right, guys. So that's what you guys are, I love that you guys are able to grow your plant. So
Mrs. Park,
My plant died.
I am a level.
I was doing so good.
all right, guys, you guys can keep playing that after class. Let's go ahead and move on to page 13, okay? So here we've got plants in a tropical forest get little sunlight. We've got stems and leaves. Water and nutrients travel through the roots and up to the stem of the plant. The stem is the plant part that holds up the plant. The leaves of a plant take in air and sunlight to make food. The plants below grow in an area with little sunlight. What do you notice about the size of the leaves? Why do you think some plants in areas with little sunlight have large leaves? So since I know some of us don't have our books today, let's just continue reading on. And then maybe tomorrow, Wednesday, we'll answer those questions. We're going to skip this inquiry activity, and then we're going to read pages 16 and 17 next. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to write pages 16 and 17. Okay, plants in dry places. How do you think some plants survive in areas with little water? The parts of a cactus plant help it to survive in the dry desert. A cactus has a thick stem that stores water. The stem acts like a leaf to produce food from sunlight. Its waxy covering helps hold water. A cactus plant does not start flowering and growing until the rainy season. Now watch the video Roots Take in Water to see how plants get water in dry places. So we're going to go ahead and watch that video now. Why is my videos not working? Ay, ay, ay. Okay, I'll just read it to you guys. Okay, let's watch the video. Did you know that plants have a reaction to certain things such as light, water, or gravity? Let's learn how things affect how plants grow. We can use this time-lapse video to show. Look at these plants grow. They do not actually grow this fast, but we sped up the process so that you could see it easily. Light, water, and gravity are affecting the growing plants. Plants need water to survive. These roots grow right to the water source and start taking in water. The roots provide the rest of the plant with the nutrients to grow. Plant roots also grow down according to the pull of gravity. But the roots have another job, and that is to anchor the plant firmly in place underground like this. Light helps the plant grow too. Light provides the plant with energy to help it stay strong and healthy. Because plants need light to survive, the parts of the plant above ground will grow toward the light. These flowers are all growing up toward the sun. I don't know why my audio is not working today. So let's keep going. World's largest blooming plant. You have read that plants need sunlight and water to grow. One plant in Southern California grew to be the world's largest blossoming plant, and it's still growing. The wisteria plant started out as a small plant in 1894. It grew fast, so fast that it covered its owner's house in 1931. The plant has been named the world's largest blossoming plant by the Guinness Book of World Records. It weighs about 250 tons. It has over 1.5 million blooms. That's a lot. All right, we're going to skip our inquiry activity. If you want to learn about ecologists, you guys can read that on your own. And what we're going to do last is we are going to be working on pages 24 and 25. And I think that's it. So it's just 6 pages that we're doing. 12 to 13, 16 to 17, and then 24 to 25. Okay, how do these plants get what they need? Explain how plants are able to grow in a dark cave. So remember how when we looked at that video, that plant was able to grow even though it was in the sun? The plant that grew the biggest and the strongest was the plant that grew fully in the shade. And the reason why was because even though it was fully in the shade, the sunlight was still able to touch certain parts of the plant, and the warmth of the sun was still helping the plant to grow. So even though in this dark cave, it's dark, there is a little bit of light near the opening where plants can grow. So you see how even though they're in the shade, there's a little bit of light that will shine through, and then it'll hit the plants, and that's how they're able to grow. So even in a dark cave, there is a little bit of light near the opening where plants can grow. Okay, so what page are we on? We are on page 24. We're on page 24. So explain how plants are able to grow in a dark cave. You can write some sunlight can still enter. And that's all I'm going to write. If you want to write a more complete sentence, or if you want to write more words, that is totally up to you. Some sunlight can still enter. We're on page 24. Okay, while you guys are writing that down, I'm going to read you guys page 25. Okay. Camilla planned an investigation with 2 plants of the same kind. She recorded her observations in the table below. So amount of water. So for plant 1, she gave it 1 teaspoon of water each day. That's very little. Plant 2, she gave it 20 teaspoons of water each day. Think of 20 teaspoons as maybe less than a cup of water. Okay, after 1 week, the one that got just 1 teaspoon of water, like a little bit, the plant looks brown and the leaves are starting to dry. But the other one that got lots of teaspoons of water looks green and healthy. After 2 weeks, the whole plant for the plant 1 looks brown and dried up. But after 2 weeks, the one that got 20 teaspoons looks green and healthy. How did the amount of water affect the results? So what happened to that first plant that only got 1 teaspoon of water each day? What happened to that one? Can you guys unmute and tell me? I'm going to let you guys unmute in just a second. All right, you can unmute. How did the amount of water affect the results?
It dried up.
It dried up, right? So too little water and it dried up. Too little water and it dried up.
Miss Park,
Well, it's dried up, yes.
what were we supposed to write down? I was in the restroom.
Okay, we're on page, so do you see my screen right now?
Yeah.
So we're on page 24 and 25. You're
Mhm.
writing this on page 24. And then you're going to write this on page 25. And then I also put it in the chat for you guys as well.
Okay.
Okay, so number 1 for page 24, I'll write it in the chat again. You're writing some sunlight can still enter. And then on page 25 in that first box, you guys are going to write too little water, and then it dries up. And then the last one we have is number 2. Ready? Okay, if you want to access it on the computer, I will show you guys in just a second, okay? So, which sentence shows a necessary part of Camilla's planning? So what does she need to do? What was important? A, the plants should be in the same place. B, the plants should be the same kind of plant. C, the plants should be in the same kind of soil. Or D, the plants should be labeled with the same marker. Which sentence shows a necessary part of her planning? It doesn't have to be with the same marker. It doesn't matter if she did it with a red marker or a blue marker. So it's not going to be D. I know it's not D. D is not the right answer. So cross out D. Which sentence shows a necessary part of Camilla's planning? What is important in her planning? I was confused because I was saying, those all seem important. But let's read the question again. It says, which sentences? So we can pick more than one. So I think that A, B, and C are all important. Because if you put one plant in bad soil and one plant in good soil, the one in good soil is going to grow better. So the same kind of soil, it needs to be the same plant. It even says here, the same kind of plant, and they should be in the same place. Because if one is in, full sunlight and one is in full shade, that it's going to make it different too. So you should circle A, B, and C. You should circle A, B, and C, not D. The marker that you use to write the label, that doesn't matter. All right, now I recorded this lesson. So for those of you guys who need extra time to finish this will be recorded and I'll post this online for you. If you need help to get to this, Russell, I want you to unmute and I'm gonna walk you through the steps okay, so the answers are in the chat. Question number 2, the answer is A, B, and C, okay? The answers are in the chat. All right, Russell, I'm going to show you guys. So if you guys want to access it online, if you want to be able to access this online, I'm going to show you on Russell's. So what he's going to do is he's in Parts and Landscape Unit 4. You're going to click on the notebook right here because you need to get to lesson 1. And then you're going to click on what plants need. That's the lesson we're on.
Can you go back to that page?
So the answers are in the chat. The answers are in the chat. And I'll also post it on YouTube in a few minutes. And then scroll down to evaluate, Russell. You got to scroll down. You're still in explain good. Evaluate. Now you're going to click lesson review.
Can you go back to that page?
So even if I go back, the answers are no longer there because I was editing it on my computer. So what you'll have to, and then click on the arrow. So you have to go to the chat or you're gonna have to watch it on YouTube later to see the answers again.
I need help with the writing.
Okay, so it's in the chat. The answers are in the chat box, or you can watch it on YouTube later.
I need the answers.
Okay, here it is. Okay, Russell? All right, guys. For the remainder of the day, this is what you have to do, okay? Since we did our science now, you're gonna work on read theory. And then to do your art, health, social, emotional learning activity, you can watch this video. And then you guys need to read a book for 20 minutes. Any missing work you haven't done today, make sure you guys get that completed. Like if you didn't do your selfie writing this morning, make sure you do your selfie writing. If you have no questions, you're free to go. I will see you guys tomorrow at 8:40 a.m. If you have questions, you guys can stay.